When I tell you the phrase energy production, you probably think of something like this. But what if I told you that actually it can also look like this? How walking, dancing, or traffic can create electricity? Well, that's possible because of something called piezoelectric effect. Piezoelectric materials are capable of generating electricity when mechanical stress is applied to them. How it works is that when lattice without a point symmetry is compressed, the charges shift, creating a voltage potential. Okay, cool, but what does it even mean? I know, I used some scary names. Let's break it down. I will explain it on the example of one of the most popular piezoelectrics, which is quartz. Quartz has a giant covalent structure in which silicon atom is bonded to two oxygen atoms. The bond between oxygen and silicon is polar, as oxygen has higher electronegativity. There is a partial negative charge on the oxygen atom and a partial positive charge on the silicon atom. That basically means that electrons in silicon-oxygen bond are shifted more towards the oxygen. Generally, quartz structure can be simplified to something like this. Assuming the yellow circles are silicon atoms and green circles are oxygen atoms, we can throw in the charges. When the structure is compressed, it would look something like this. The top now is more negatively charged than the bottom. That explains the initial illustration. Now I want to talk about point symmetry and why piezoelectrics cannot have one. Just to make things clear, the point of symmetry is the same as inversion point. Having an inversion point means that for each point x, y, z, there is indistinguishable point minus x minus y minus z. It can be quite tricky to imagine, so here are some hippos to help with that. Piezoelectrics cannot have an inversion point because that wouldn't allow them to form more negatively charged side and more positively charged side. When I got more interested in piezoelectrics, I decided to dive deeper into the real-life applications. That's why I researched self-sustainable road infrastructure using piezoelectrics. If you are interested, I will put the link to my article in the description. Writing that article, I found out that it would actually be too expensive and not efficient enough to build self-sustainable roads using piezoelectrics. However, I didn't give up and I decided to build a smaller, more tangible project, and I decided to build a piezoelectric flashlight. I started with getting all the materials. I got some piezoelectric discs, the most important element, some diodes and a copper wire to build a prototype. I started with planning how to attach the piezoelectric discs on the cardboard. I used glue to attach it and I ordered them into 2 rows. I stacked the rows on top of each other and I connected 4 discs together with 1 diode. Here are the results. Yeah, it worked. Kind of. It's not spectacular though, is it? Project itself and its execution were far from perfect. However, I think there is a problem. For this little results, I broke 5 piezoelectric discs. That literally so brittle. There are even like tutorials online on how not to break your piezoelectrics. And I think that it's just wrong. I mean, how can we use it if it just breaks? Do you want to basically say that they sound cool but are useless? No. That's absolutely not what I mean. We actually use piezoelectrics quite often. See that? I just used piezoelectrics to light my candle. Pretty nice. The thing is, piezoelectrics have much bigger potential than just helping you light your candle. And to use them in new projects such as self-sustainable road infrastructure, you would need to toughen the materials. And to do that, there are a few ways. But what I got interested in is doping the piezoelectric lattice with different atoms. The atoms can either be introduced into empty spaces in the lattice, which is called interstitial doping, or they can replace the existing in the lattice atoms, which is called substitutional doping. Doping creates a barrier for propagation of dislocations in the lattice, which is referred to as a pinning effect. Single crystal has one repeating arrangement of atoms. Polycrystals are made of more crystals with different dimensional orientations. The place where two crystals meet in a polycrystal is called a grain boundary. Grain boundaries are another barrier for the dislocation propagation. Oh, that rhymes. Anyways, doping results in more grain boundaries being formed, and so it makes the material stronger. If you're interested, I have another article about that and I will put it in the description. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye! Piezoelectricity. Piezoelectricity?
Piezoelectricity.
Piezoelectricity.
Piezoelectric.
But piezoelectric.
Piezoelectric.